And welcome back to Friday Briefing. Thank you so much for staying with us. Well, it's now time for a guest anchor segment. And like I mentioned today, you saw her earlier, Njeri Kinyanjui. She is an elected member of the City Council in Germany, a specific place. It's a county or a small city called Reutlingen. Reutlingen. Have I said that correctly?
Yes, Reutlingen.
Reutlingen. All right, so it's evening, so I should say, to say good evening, it's Guten Abend.
Guten Abend.
Guten
Abend.
Okay, all right. I'm not doing too
You're
badly.
good.
Hopefully by the end of the show, I'll know how to say other nice things that I can use over the weekend.
Yes.
Great to have you in studio.
Thank you.
All right, so first things first, your equivalent of an elected member of the City Council is an MCA here. So does that position make you? What is it all about? What do you do for the people of Reutlingen?
Germany is a federal state, so we have different levels of political power. We have the Bundesregierung, we have the Land...
What's that?
Bundesregierung, the top, where we have Bundesregierung, or the Bundestag is our top national,
Let me not even try
national
to pronounce
assembly.
it.
And
I just know Bundesliga, you know. Okay, so,
yeah.
all right, sorry.
So we have different levels of political power. We have the Bundesebene, the Bundes level.
Okay.
We have the Landes, it's like a province. And then we have on the lower level the counties,
okay.
the cities, which are to carry out the duties given to them from the upper levels.
All right, interesting. So what does your work entail on a day-to-day?
The federal government wants that each city, each town carries out the duties and also does for the people what is necessary in that region.
All right.
Because
so it's like the
region
county governments back here in Kenya.
Yes.
All right. So talk to us about how did you first of all go to Germany? I know you went there back in 1983 for education, like we saw in the story there. That was by Mark Namaswa. So you started off as a student. And then how did it translate to the point where you were actually an elected leader?
I was always interested in politics, what is going on around me,
right.
And I was involved in the Students' Union in Berlin, where I started, and in Tübingen, where I continued my studies. And I was always interested in politics, and was home for 10 years while looking after my children.
Okay.
And I was involved in different projects, getting kindergarten for young children.
All right.
Or sports, and seeing that there is a participation.
All right, so take us slowly. So first of all, you get to Berlin, you're a student, you go through your higher education. At some point, I understand that you were babysitting in Germany?
Yes, I had to work for my money in the first few years.
Okay. Were you still a student?
As a student, yes.
Okay.
I worked 19 hours a week to earn my living.
Okay.
And it is only later, when I was doing my master's degree, that I got a very good scholarship. And I could study without financial worries.
Without having...
Yes.
All right. Were you many Kenyans there?
There were quite a number of Kenyans. My brother was there at that time. My sister was there, but they left. They are back in Kenya. And there are a lot of foreign students in Germany because there was no school fees. There was no... One did not have to pay for the tuition and only for the subsistence. And that made it very attractive for foreign students and also what is offered. All
right. So you said that many of the students you're with came back home, but you stayed there. First things first, why would you stay in a foreign country? You're very young, I suppose, at that time. You're just finishing with your university. And, many people will want to run back home and, get to see what opportunities are here. But you decided to stay on. Why?
Life decided for me. I got a child, I got a husband.
Oh, wow.
And the way life just happened,
right.
I stayed on. And it was not my intention. Originally, I wanted to come back and work here. But I stayed on, and the years drifted by, and I got very involved in the life.
Right, right. Let's talk about the stereotype that is, accorded to Germany as a country, that, you hear that, they are racist. Did that occur to you? Did you face anything like that? Is it even there, or is it something that is just, false?
There is racism all over the country, all over the world. Even in Kenya, we experience racism.
But maybe not to that, not to a certain level.
It depends on in which direction.
Okay.
You understand? In Kenya, the racism is different. We have tribalism. It's also kind of racism.
Yes, yes.
The difference is in Germany, it is anchored in the law that all people are equal, irrespective of their religion, their race, their origin.
But did you feel that from people? Did you feel that from the people who you interacted with?
Not severe.
Were they welcoming to you, or did you feel a certain level of who is she? She comes from a different part of the world.
Of course, there is always a bit of skepsis when somebody new comes in, and the most important thing in Germany is that one learns the language, the culture, and participates. Then people accept one. It happens very often that I am with people, and sometimes they say, "My goodness, you're just like us."
You're just like us.
And they see we're just human beings,
right.
actually.
Yeah, we are human beings. So you get that, oh, you're actually human.
Yes.
Like, just like that. So let's talk about the point where you decided to join, active politics. You said that, in uni, you used to be, in the student unions, and that's where you felt the need to go out and, go for this elective post. So at what point did you decide, okay, this is now what I'm going to do?
The parties decided for me. Actually, I was about 7 years ago. I was asked to be in the advisory board for foreigners, advising the town of Reutlingen about migrant issues. And from there, the Green Party asked me to vie for a post. And the Social Democrats asked me at the same time. They asked a week later. But I said,
so they actually came and asked you?
Yes, they asked me, we would like you to stand for us.
Why did they ask you? What do you think you had that, they saw and they're like, wow, we want this on board?
They look for good people who are dedicated, people with good education, with experience, and who can do something for the society. And I think I brought in some qualities they needed.
Yeah. And obviously you did, because I was just researching and you had about 7,800 votes on your side. How did you get that? Do you usually campaign for that?
The campaign is very, very simple. It's not like here that you have rallies.
Yeah.
And you campaign for months on end.
Yeah, we started ours, last year, or even right after the elections, we were already campaigning. So how is it there? How are the campaigns? Do you go to door, maybe,
We do that also, or we stand at the marketplace on a Saturday and offer brochures and...
brochures?
Or what do you call them? I don't know.
No, I mean, it makes sense, because here at home, you give other things. You can give goodies, you can give T-shirts, sometimes money. You've had that, we have those cases. So for you, give brochures to really outline your mandate or what, or,
exactly.
or your agenda.
Exactly. And we go to other institutions which deal with homeless people or disabled, or they come to us and we invite them and we tell them what we can do for them. They ask us also whether we can do something for them. So actually we are always in contact with such groups, such institutions. Right. And it's always a campaign time for us Germans. It's not just the last half year of
it's not the last
elections. Yes.
And so what basis, what do you tell the people when you go out to to ask for the votes? Because you're not German. I mean, you're a foreigner. Maybe now you got the citizenship for Germany. But at that time, how did you convince people to actually vote for you?
They saw me, they knew me. I'm a business person, and I don't know whether it's because I'm a business person that I was voted for, because people know my products in Reutlingen and around the town. But I was also very active in quite a number of networks. And so when you vie for office, the party has a list of the candidates. 40 each, according to the town. Like in our town, we have 40 seats. And the higher your position, the better it is for you, of course. And I got a good position, and it seems people knew me. I was not very high, actually. There were teachers before me who have better chances because they are known by many people.
Right.
But perhaps people wanted also a change.
A change. And let's talk about that change, because when we started the conversation, you said that, you know, an MCA here gets about 250,000. You back in Germany, you get 70,000 shillings. And you say that it's not really about the money. It's about what is it that you want to do for the people. What can you say you've done for the people of Reutlingen?
I think I'm a voice for the foreigners.
Okay.
There are many who have lived there 50 years or longer, and they are new coming in with different issues. And I have a lot of experience. I've been a student there, I've worked there, I have a family there, I've been active in politics, and they think I could speak up for them, which I actually do. And it also changes the perspective of the other members of parliament, that they see, okay, now we have foreigners and they listen to people like me. We are two people who are not Germans. We're not three people not Germans. And it's the first time that we have that in Reutlingen. And when we speak in the debate, you can hear a pin drop. They listen.
They listen.
Yes.
It's interesting that you say that, because earlier on we had that story that was really highlighting this women's leaders meeting that took place today. At some point it got chaotic. Back in Germany, are women given the opportunity? And when they're given that, do they, you know, take it and do things with it? Because here back home, there's sort of like a fear for having women in leadership positions. Either the women do not stand up to be counted as leaders, or, the society really, if you have a female president here in Kenya, probably they will not get as much votes. Charity Ngilu has tried that before. She was not even anything near successful.
She could have gotten the votes if all the women voted for her. I imagine. They make up 50% of the voters.
No, they didn't. They didn't vote for her.
That is the problem.
Yeah,
There's
they
no
didn't
solidarity
vote for
between
her.
women.
Do they
so
vote
easy.
even in the first place?
And that is the other question. Why don't they go to vote, and why don't they vote for the women? We need more solidarity among women. And it is a bit easier in Germany because the women's liberation movement has been known for longer. Women have more chances, of course, in education and at the workplace. And the level of participation for women is a bit higher. But we still have a long way to go also in Germany. Really? Yes.
But at least, you have 15 women out of 40 in your council. That's something great. Here we're still trying to get 2/3. The 2/3 generally, we've been talking about it for such a long time. Now the women want the 50% of seats. What's the process like? How long do you think it'll take before we get to where at least you are? And what will it take?
The men have to be ready to share the piece of cake. They can't always eat the cake and give us what is
the crumbs.
The crumbs for us to be nominees or so on.
Right.
They must give us space. They must accept we are equal members of the society. We are also 1 inches. We are raising up the children. We are teaching them in school. We are the nurses, and we are selling at the market.
Right.
We know what we really need. We need to create space for women to be able to go for office. And we need to put money aside, because commitment is nothing about money. And there are many women who could go for office if they knew, like, their children can go to school. They don't need to worry about school fees. They can go to the doctor. Medical is taken care of. They can be free to go into politics.
Okay. When some of the basic issues are taken care of.
Yes.
All right, so one of the things that I got from my tweets, and somebody was asking, would you be willing to come back home and represent, your people here, because you're doing it abroad, and like you said, when you speak in the council, people listen to you. It's a pin drop silence. Do you think you'd come back home and try out our politics?
I think I would dare, but I don't know if I would cope with the
what?
the other members. I don't
Which
know.
other members?
I find when I watch now and then television, German the Kenyan parliament, and
Right.
sometimes I see fists and
Yeah.
blows flying around.
Shouting, a lot of shouting.
I don't know if I would cope with it.
But that's the reason maybe we need more women like you to come in and, show us how to do the right thing.
Then offer me something.
So you'd be willing to come back home?
I would think about it.
Okay. Has
Yes.
it ever crossed your mind?
Of course, I see a lot of things are not right. I have a lot of experience now, and there are many things we can do here. We need to change a lot of stuff. We need to change our way of thinking here in the country. We need to manage our resources much better and not just pay high salaries to politicians. This is wananchi money. We must do more for the wananchi. And in the long run, if everybody is a bit more well off, even the politicians will be much more well off.
All right. What can you tell the women who are watching right now and they're thinking that, the elections are just like about 5 months away, and they're thinking that, I have something that I can offer, but there's that fear, like you said, of the fist fights and the shouting that goes on sometimes in our rallies in Parliament. What can you tell them?
The problem is, I think in Kenya you need money to run for office.
You need money to run for office, for sure.
And that is the biggest problem,
Right.
because I didn't need any money to run for office. And
It was just you going and, selling your agenda.
yes, myself and that was enough. My qualities, my experience, and it had nothing to do with money. Up to today, it has nothing to do with money. In fact, I lose money when I go to Parliament.
Or you lose
It's
money.
better if I work in my business. I earn more one evening than I earn as much one evening as I earn a month when I go to Parliament.
Okay.
So
what is it that you'll tell the women, as much as, you need money to do this thing in Kenya, what else do they need?
They need solidarity. They must also demand a piece of the cake. The cake is big enough for everybody. They must go for it. And they must support each other. They need much more solidarity. Yeah? They must think big and not just, they must think bigger.
They must
than
think
they
bigger.
do now. And they must want to change their lives of their children, of their relatives. They must have that in mind. And
All right.
it is possible.
It is possible. All right, so I want you now to anchor the news. I don't know if you've ever thought you'd ever read the news back home. So come, join me at the anchor seat.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, great.
Can I have a glass of water?
A glass of water? You'll have a glass of water. You'll be fine.
Okay.
All right, have a seat there.